stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
To start tonight's pre-race ceremonies, we start with our invocation, given tonight by Charity Cup Series owner Curtis Mitchell.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to get some drivers out here on the track and race for dozens of good causes. I thank you for the opportunity to be able to lead this organization and just the fruit that you've been able to bear through this. I thank you for all the drivers and the sponsors and the spectators that have been involved over the last 5 months. I pray that you continue to grow this organization so we can continue to put on entertaining events and raise lots more money for charity. I pray that you keep all of our emotions in check, as it will be an intense race. I pray that you would be glorified and magnified, and that those who come in contact with Charity Cup Series would ultimately see you, and they would wonder why it's different, why the culture is different, and it would be because of you, Lord. Thank you for this opportunity. I pray this in your name. Amen.
And now, singing the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome Ben Tainai.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. and the rockets regular. The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Drivers, start your engines!
And he served in the army. We lost his right eye, but he flew a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my
Hey everybody, NASCAR driver Anthony Alfredo here.
Hey everybody, Brendan Gaughan here.
Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR on Fox.
All the drivers competing this year are supporting a great cause because this is racing monthly on iRacing that ultimately supports great causes.
Go out, enjoy, be safe, and have fun.
Good luck this season. Have a great time. Thanks for what you do, giving money to charity and getting a little iRacing in.
This is a great cause, a fun way to utilize the iRacing community in service to have fun competing against one another and doing good. I hope you guys enjoy racing in the Charity Cup Series. Hope to see you on the track.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sim Racing Media as we're here live at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Charity Cup Series. I'm your host, Front Row Joe, a.k.a. Joe Manella. Joining me is Jordan Brockell. Jordan, how you feeling tonight, sir?
I'm feeling good, ready to get going here from New Hampshire. A little bit different of a track you'd see NASCAR on. You know, it's little to no banking in these corners. Tires are going to be crucial, and I don't know. I get a little excited sometimes when we come to New Hampshire. It's like a little bit of a breath of fresh air compared to the other tracks.
Yeah, New Hampshire, kind of a mild version of Bowman Gray, is there's only 2 to 7 degrees banking all throughout the track, and these guys are absolutely going to be getting a little squirrely coming out of the turns and searching around for grip as there are multiple lines that can be run here tonight as we take a quick look at our race information for the night. Obviously, we're here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We'll be going a total of 180 laps, no stages, 4 additional green-white checkers, tire sets, 3 green-white checkers. Fuel window is going to be 48 to 52 laps, 1 fast repair, and as always, myself, Joe Manella, Jordan Brockell, in the booth. As I do believe there's still some drivers out on the track finishing up qualifying. We'll take a quick look here at Tim Ruark.
Yeah, a big thing about this track is it's going to be really easy to kind of overdrive that corner entry. I think you don't really have the banking to rely on, you know, start to turn the car. You know, like you go to a Bristol or Dover, those kind of high bank tracks, the car almost kind of turns itself when it goes into the corner. But you get on these flatter courses, and I mean, it's real simple. You way too hard, and you shoot straight to that outside wall.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. As we seen in the Cup race today, in the truck race yesterday, it's kind of difficult to pass here. However, with a little bit of a smaller field, I don't think that will be an issue here. We've got about a total of 11 drivers signed up for the race. As you see, the number 77 right here, Aiden Davis. He'll actually be starting 5th tonight. As the drivers are actually in their warm-up right now, and while they're warming up, we'll take a quick look at some of the key performance indicators of the Charity Cup Series. The first one of those being the points standings. You can see Great Lakes Sim 1 currently on the top of the board, 622 points, and then you've got Full Blast in second, and then Milk Dud Motorsports going to be in third. Another notable thing to mention tonight is going to be the total donations received from the Charity Cup Series, total of $4,319.80, with, I believe, the Walkin' and Rollin' costume still being the charity that's got the most money raised so far this season.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal. Love seeing that number continue to rise and continue to support great causes. Back to the points just a little bit. Tonight's going to be a good night for some of these guys to maybe try to cut into that point lead. Jake Manning not here tonight, has some other duties that he has to attend to. And, you know, some of these guys going to be looking to maybe try to jump into that, as kind of just looking here at the list of drivers. I think I've seen maybe one driver that's a part of that Great Lakes Sim 1. I have to double check. But, I mean, full blast in here in full, I guess full blast. So those guys going to be able to try to make up some points and maybe make it interesting for that finale in Miami 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, and with the absence of Stephen Ray tonight, he's one of the drivers that's always been in contention here at the Charity Cup Series, and we'll definitely be missing his presence tonight.
Yeah, I think Tim Ruark is the only driver here tonight for that Great Lakes Sim 2 as well. So some chances for Full Blast to, like I said, really close in that gap. So we'll have to really keep an eye on that and see how they play out through the end of this thing. As you see right here, Patrick Craven, one of those Full Blast drivers here in the 04 machine. You see just how as he comes off that corner, just gets a little squirrely. And I think as the temperatures rise, I mean, we're already at 100-degree track temp. As those temperatures start to rise, it's going to be a slicker and slicker drive off the corner. And as these tires wear in, it's going to just get even worse. So tire management, it's going to be near impossible, but you're going to have to do the best that you can tonight to keep those tires underneath you.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. As the clock strikes the top of the hour here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and practice session just about over. Should be ending shortly. As you see the 04 there coming out of turn number 4, and this should be the final time for him as we are getting ready to go green. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back as we wait for the field to grade up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the field is gridded up. We'll take a quick look at our starting lineup. On the pole tonight, Curtis Mitchell in row number 1, and on his outside is going to be the 74 machine of Jacob Link. Row number 2 is going to be the 23 Ray Massey and the number 90 of Jackson Wade. Row number 3 going to be the 77 of Aiden Davis and the 04 of Patrick Craven. Row number 4 is going to be the 22 of Jeff Scheimer and the number 44 of Tim Ruark. Row number 5, Brenton Barker in the number 88 machine and DeMarco Starks in the number 17. And starting shotgun in the field tonight is the number 32 of Chris Rude.
I don't think Chris Rude gridded, so just 10 cars looking to, I think, take the green flag flag. Looks like DeMarco Stark's still sitting on pit road, maybe missed the call to the grid. So going to start 9 trucks behind this pace truck here, and Curtis Mitchell and Jacob Link, 2 guys desperately wanting to get a win, and Jackson Wade always been right there in the excuse me, right there in the mix, and the only Great Lakes Sim guy in here for tonight. So he's going to look to try to get as many points by getting a win here for his team. But definitely Jacob Link and Curtis Mitchell trying to maximize on their stuff, as well as that pace truck's going to get ready to give the control over to Curtis Mitchell in that 316 machine, as you see right there ahead of him. Makes that hard left turn. Hands control to Curtis Mitchell, and we are green flag in the air for tonight. Oh, and almost got a little squirrely like we did in the real life truck race, as Jacob Link gets squirrely on the start there.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing to mention, Jordan, is the Great Lakes Sim Pole Challenge Award. Pole Challenge Award rolled over from the last Charity Cup Series race. Now up to $100. So if Curtis Mitchell, the pole sitter, can come away with the win here tonight in the Charity Cup Series, he will receive $100.
Absolutely, as no one has been able to do that, like you said, for 4 weeks now. Working on week number 4 is, you can see Ray Massey right there, Aiden Davis in 3rd right now. He's moved up 2 spots from the start here. Jackson Wade kind of sitting in 4th as where he started this thing. And, you know, not a ton of cars, so should be a fairly clean racing tonight. Should see a lot of strategy come out a little bit more. You know, when you have a smaller field, you're able to kind of get that clean racing and be able to kind of really focus on a pit strategy. So I think pit strategy and timing is going to be a big key here tonight for these guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. Tire management, fuel management, always a factor in any race. However, at these short tracks, it's even more important as you go from high speeds of about 130 miles an hour in the straightaways down to about, 80 or 90. As you see, it's actually 150 miles an hour for the 04 of Patrick Craven, getting it down to about 95 miles an hour, downshifting into 3rd gear and trying to lean on that right rear and get some good drive off.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a different strategy. You know, we see it kind of in the Cup car, as that Cup car has that 5th gear. As it looks like Curtis Mitchell way up into the wall, possibly there ahead. Yeah, bouncing off that outside wall. Still holding and maintaining the lead right now, but definitely colliding with that wall, and that shows you how just tricky this track can be, especially when you have someone as fast as Ray Massey right to your rear bumper. You want to try to run and get in corner strong. You just keep kind of peeking at that mirror and trying to drive it, and it's really easy to overdrive these corners here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and it's also imperative to not slide your tires too much on the opening laps of the run, as that's going to do nothing but build up some heat too quickly, and just makes for some uncomfortable driving throughout the run.
Jacob Link falls back to 5th position right now, as he's battling with Jeff Schmeier right now to try to keep that top 5 spot. As these guys are going to be able to really stretch their legs. I mean, normally you'd have 20 to 25 trucks all fighting for the same spot throughout. These guys are able to really kind of drive around the track, find what works the most for them. Not a ton of worry to fall back too far. As you see, Link was way up towards the high side, maybe trying to do, I don't know, almost a reverse diamond, get up towards the wall and then shoot down to the bottom on corner exit.
Yeah, we're on board here with the number 74, Jacob Link. Jacob Link with Milk Dud Motorsports. He's supporting the Eric Jones Foundation. Jacob Link from Lake Orion, Michigan. He's currently driving a Legends car. He's got 1 victory and has raced at over 10 tracks, including Charlotte, Atlanta Motor Speedway, And outside of driving his legend car, obviously he loves to do iRacing, but he also likes to skimboard.
I feel like that's one of those things that, as a larger-bodied human being, skimboarding is something I will gladly stray away from.
Yeah, you know, I've always, you know, I'm a bigger-bodied fellow myself, and you know, that skimboarding, that's where you run, you throw the little board out at the beach, and you just skim over the little bit of water that's rippling over the shore, right?
I believe so, yes. And if I recall, I have tried it, and I think most of the time it ended up with me looking up at the clouds instead of skimming. I maybe skimmed for like 3 feet, and then you just end up staring at the stars a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not something I want to be doing on a regular basis. As you know, the only thing I'll really do at the beach, get in the water. Maybe I've thought about picking up some boogie boarding, but yeah, I don't know if that'll work either. But we got the number 17, DeMarco Starks, right here. DeMarco running for Raceway Ministries in that number 17 machine, and sitting in the back of the field right now, currently running 10th, so we'll see how the race plays out. Maybe we'll get a caution, and that number 17 machine can re-rack and get up front and give a good effort and try and get a top 5, maybe a podium finish here tonight.
Yeah, I watched DeMarco. He started from the pits, which, you know, with such a small field, is not a terrible idea. You get enough time to kind of feel your truck out on your own, away from everybody, and then you can kind of pick up speed and kind of work your way, as you see here with Aiden Davis right now. But Starks, you know, 15 seconds out, not too far off the back of the field, so it's going to be a little bit of a test there for him to see what he can figure out for this race here.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the field starting to stretch a little bit thin. There's a little bit of a battle right now for first, second, and third between Curtis Mitchell, Ray Massey, and the number 90 of Jackson Wade. These 3 drivers have kind of gotten a little bit of separation away from the 4th place driver, and that's going to be the number 77 of Aiden Davis. So looking like a 3-way battle for first and a 3-way battle for 4th.
As Ray Massey hasn't been able to get around the 316, but all over. You see Jackson Wade right here. He's kind of just, you know, normally they say the catbird seat is the P2 spot, but he's just kind of waiting to see what these guys do. If they get racing side by side, he could probably force himself up in there into a 3-wide situation. Because Jackson Wade is certainly one of the fast guys here as well, as these 3 have kind of broke out to a 1.5 second lead over the rest of the field.
Yeah, and it won't take much to throw a dive bomb and a slider in here, as you know, these 2, Ray Massey and Curtis Mitchell, will start to battle a little bit more, as you see Jackson getting a run on that number 23 of Ray Massey. And you know, all it's going to take is one mistake from either of these drivers, and Jackson Wade can capitalize them. As you can see, he's really getting a run, getting some good drive off that right rear out of turn number 4.
Yeah, and I mean, the longer that we get into this, you see Massey a little bit of a slide there on corner entry. You're going to see these guys really, once they get about 10 more laps from now, you're going to see those tires really wear away. You're going to see a lot more sliding, I think. I think you might even see somebody have to pull a big-time save to keep it going north to south instead of east to west. And I think that's going to be the big thing, is if you're able to kind of drive through a slide, I think that's going to give you a little bit more. As you see way down onto the apron goes Jackson Wade, really trying a different line there to try to make up any kind of time, and it may actually work out. Not clear what does have the inside advantage here. As you see Jeff Smyer gets sideways, and there goes the 77 around just behind Jacob Link, taking evasive action back there towards 5th.
Yeah, it looks like the 77, Aiden Davis involved as well. We'll take a quick look at the replay and see what happened. You see the 77 diving down up under the 22. 22 gets sideways and tries to correct it, and gets into the right rear of the number 77, Aiden Davis, but good job by both drivers avoiding secondary contact after that initial contact, which is going to minimize the damage on both of these drivers.
Yeah, that could have been very bad there for the 77. Anytime you get, kind of right reared, it's expected that you go into the fence, but able to kind of slide and loop it around. But I mean, that shows you right there how the tires, after just 16 laps, show you how slick it can be. And Schmeier comes off sideways, and the 77 just happened to be there. And now we find ourselves under our first caution tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming, and that's going to give DeMarco Starks the chance to start up with the pack. And, yeah, I mean, he's had some speed tonight, and we'll see how he does. But while we're under caution, we'll take a look at our owner of Charity Cup Series and currently your first-place driver, Curtis Mitchell. Curtis Mitchell driving for Full Blast 1 out of Brookfield, Wisconsin. His charity supported is the Salvation Army, and he just took up drumming and has had an amazing time playing drums with the worship team at his church. So Curtis Mitchell picking up a good hobby and throwing down some good jam sessions with the church band. So can't really fault him for that. God gives you the opportunity to learn and to put your skills to good use, and Curtis Mitchell is doing absolutely that.
Yeah, drums are the one thing I always wanted to learn because I like being loud and obnoxious, and certainly drums can be that, as well as guitar. I can tell you I've been loud and obnoxious with that for years, but it seems to be a lot of fun. I did notice the 1-800 Hydra Hot on the front of that 316 machine, as well as the Souls for Jesus on the back, which is another charity he typically runs for. So got a couple different things going for that number 316 machine. I just realized it kind of looks like a pool liner with like the water in it. I just kind of realized that. That's actually pretty gnarly scheme there.
It does, as lights on the pace car are off. We're going to go live in the cockpit with Curtis Mitchell for this restart, as the pace car is now off into the restart zone for Curtis Mitchell, and we're back under green.
Able to clear himself there as Ray Massey and Jackson Wade side by side bullying each other. Do want to point out these are the 316 Jacob Link and the 23 of Ray Massey. Those three did not pit. Jackson Wade first on fresh tires, and that's showing right now how strong that can be. He's all over the back of the 316 and looking to capitalize and take over this race lead.
Yeah, it could kind of go either way this early in the race, taking tires or not. So strategy comes into play. And more times often than not that we've seen here lately is strategy is going to help you win the race.
Yeah, I mean, strategy, we always talk strategy. I always like to say that you don't know what the winning strategy is until the end of the race when you cross for the checkered flag in first place. But certainly like to have some sort of mindset, as you see now, Aiden Davis, another fresh tire candidate that's going to sit here and try to take over P3 and almost maybe got inside of P2 there of Jackson Wade for just a touch of a second. See Ray Massey falling here now. And what's good for them is, they didn't burn a set of tires, and it's not like they're going to lose an incredible amount of, positions. It looks like, he goes from first or second to mid-pack, but mid-pack is only 6th or 7th place. So not going to really be a major factor for them tonight, but certainly a different strategy there for them tonight.
Yeah, and those fresh 4 tires as they're 3 wide down the backstretch. Aiden Davis side by side with Jackson Wade for the race lead, and Jackson Wade decides to back out, and he'll reset, maybe let his tires cool off a little bit, and give it a go as we see our pit stop information 5 drivers not stopping, the rest taking tires and some repairs. And the fresh tires on that number 77 machine have gotten him to the race lead.
Yeah, so now he's going to be able to kind of set pace, and maybe if we stay green, you know, he's able to get a good long run and get way out ahead of these guys, and maybe, you know, kind of minimize or maximize the distance so that when he makes the pit stop later, maybe comes out kind of even with those 4 trucks that stayed out. So maybe again, an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, if I'm Aiden Davis right now, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to stay out front, but I'm going to manage my tires while I do so, because, you know, if we get a long run here, you know, these guys who didn't pit, Curtis Mitchell and Ray Massey being 2 of those drivers, you kind of don't want to overkill your tires, because once the next green flag pit cycle stops, that's kind of when you're going to want to get the bulk of your lead established. And if you save your tires until then, he'll be in pretty good shape. And then especially if another caution comes out, he's going to have a decision to make whether he's going to pit, because I'm pretty sure that the 316 and the 90 are definitely going to come down and get some tires.
Oh, absolutely. And then kind of puts everybody else on, you know, kind of a flip-flop again from what the current strategy is now. So, I mean, even if I were Aiden Davis, I would even maybe, if Jeff Schmeier starts to pressure you too much, I might even let him go, just because, you know, you want to focus both on, you know, maximizing those tires as well. I mean, speed kind of second to maximizing those tires. So if you can keep a decent amount of speed and keep yourself clean, I'd almost let Jeff Schmeier go here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you look at their lap times, running almost identical, Aiden Davis running a 31:47 and Jeff Scheimer running a 31:42. So Scheimer looks to be just picking up the pace a little bit as you see the 77 get out of shape, exit at turn number 4 right there. But, you know, with both these drivers running a pretty moderate pace, they're still pulling over a 2-second lead over the 3rd place driver, Jackson Wade.
Yeah, Jackson Wade, the first of those 4 to not come down and take tires. It says he was on pit lane for 0.7 seconds, which I don't know if that's just a little bit of a glitch there, which threw off and why I thought only 3 people stayed out. But those 4 right now sitting just in a little bunch here from 3rd to 6th. So those guys not losing a ton of spots. Like I said, smaller field, only fall to quote-unquote mid-pack, which is just about 5 trucks by. You know, Jackson Wade only losing relatively. Actually, Jackson Wade kind of levels out because he was 3rd before the pit cycle for those on caution and sits 3rd now. So Jackson Wade, the biggest benefactor there. Ray Massey kind of sitting in a 2nd place spot to Jackson Wade, and Curtis Mitchell kind of the guy that kind of fell the furthest from 1st down to 6th. So going to be an interesting thing to watch as these guys get closer and closer to their stops.
Yeah, Jackson Wade didn't lose or gain anything, you know, on that last caution and pit stop. So I would almost say he's kind of the beneficiary running the pace that he's running right now after not taking tires and still sitting in 3rd place.
Yeah, and that last time around, the leaders did 31.61 and a 31.74 to Jackson Wade's 31.93. So not a ton of fall off for that 90 either as well. So kind of just staying within 0.2 of those guys. Ray Massey, 31.94, just right there with that number 90. So those guys not losing a ton of time here. So yeah, those 2 definitely benefactors in that caution. You see here the 88 Brenton Parker also running that Hydra Hot, 1-800 Hydra Hot on the hood of his machine. Souls for Jesus on the back there, part of Full Blast 1 Racing.
Yeah, and Brenton Barker, the number 88 machine, supporting the Salvation Army out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And fun fact about the driver of the 88, he can push both of his shoulder blades out and make it look like he has wings. So fly, baby, fly all the way up to the front and take that win, Mr. Barker.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I tried to see if I could still do it, and I think I can. I don't know. I mean, a little bit of a chunkier fellow than I used to be, so they don't look like wings. They just look like nubs.
Yeah. Yeah, and we see the number 88 getting around Patrick Craven for that number 8 spot. So Brenton Barker moving up in the right direction. And Tim Ruark, unfortunately, falling back 2 spots after the start of this race, but still a long way to go. We're not even a third of the way through this race on lap number 36 of 180 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys are definitely getting kind of spaced out. The front two sitting about as the timing decides to flip around. They're sitting about 4 seconds ahead of the front pack here as Jeff Schmeier and Davis go side by side for the moment through the corner, and Schmeier going to tuck back in behind here, but they've kind of put a 4-second gap between them and Massey and Wade. And Wade and Massey, they put about a 2 to 3 second gap between them, between Link and Mitchell. So we got kind of a little packs of 2 as we run down this order, as Aiden Davis sticking it out front. Jeff Schmeier really trying to wrap that bottom, not too deep down on the bottom, because I've noticed that the shallower you are in the bottom of the corner, the looser that the drive off can be off the corner, because you're trying to really turn yourself off the corner or off the wall. So the more that you can kind of diamond out, it's almost like a double diamond in a sense. You know, you hit the turn in, kind of coast up to the outside middle line, and then re-diamond down towards that line to try to really take a different shape for your corner.
Yeah, it's almost like you know, you have to turn multiple times throughout the corner to keep the car straight and keep the nose pointed down for exit. And another thing that makes running the inside so difficult, because, you know, there is a lot of grip down there, but it's also quite bumpy down there, especially if you have a really low exit coming off of turn 2 and you transition back onto the track. There's a big bump right there, and you see right there the 22 running down on the bottom and staying away from that bump, because that bump can really get the truck unsettled.
Yeah, it's really, really easy to unsettle this truck here. And especially, you know, as these guys get into this, I know they have fresher tires. They're only on about lap 22-ish on these tires here. But, I mean, we've seen that just after 18 laps, we watched, you know, Schmeier almost go around. As now you see right there, Patrick Craven, he was down lap 18. You see the slide he has off the corner as he got by Brenton Barker now to move up into the 8th spot. So you can see these tires definitely starting to take taking shape in a negative way for these guys.
And you can see Patrick Craven getting a little loose out of turn number 2. Not as bad as it was coming out of 4. Excuse me. Hopefully he recognizes that, and he does a better job coming out of 4 right there. So he definitely wants to get those the right rear cooled off before he loses it, because it is very easy to do that here on this flat surface.
And back up towards the front, looks like Jeff Schmeier has now gotten the race lead over Aiden Davis. Barely. Davis gets a big slide off the corner there. I'm going to tuck himself back in behind the 22 for the moment to try to get a little bit of draft, but dives it deep down onto the bottom side by side through turns 1 and 2. And they're going to be even down the backstretch, drag race style, towards turns 3 and 4. These guys fighting hard here to try to keep the race lead, and NASCAR. I'm not a great racer by any means, as Schmeier got loose and almost took out the right rear again on the 77. But I feel like these guys should really kind of focus in on trying to gap the rest of the field and not fight each other as hard, as Jeff Schmeier that time around was about half a second slower than the 4 trucks behind him.
Yeah, and that exchange slowed both of these drivers up about 0.3 of a second. Tires starting to fall off a little bit more. Both drivers running 32, low 32s last time around, and yeah, now that they're back single file, they've actually gained 0.2 on their previous lap time. So battle is brewing. It's going to happen again, but I think for both of these drivers, like you said, Jordan, it's going to be focusing on you know, increasing that gap that you have, as it's a little over 4 seconds.
As it looks like Tim Ruark and Brenton Barker are both making stops here now. So those two, it looks like Curtis Mitchell going to be the first of those guys that stayed out on the caution to come down pit road. So now some of these guys' strategies starting to take effect and start to show themselves. It looks like Patrick Craven might actually have a black flag on that. We'll have to see if we can... Almost wonder if it was too fast entering because he got it on the way in. So speeding penalty possibly there for Patrick Craven, as now Jacob Links going to make his stop. So I look for maybe Wade and Massey to start making a thought to move towards pit lane. I mean, I don't know, if you're getting feedback from time from the guys in front of you, I might just stay out as long as humanly possible. If you've got the fuel to just continue running, I mean, those guys are running the exact same speeds as the front two. Is now Jackson Wade's actually going to take his stop here.
Yes, if you look at the pitch, the stint length, Scheimer and Davis got about 29 laps apiece on their tires, and you know, with the fuel window being about 48 to 52 laps, these drivers can absolutely push it another 20 laps. And with the gap that they've created, it, excuse me, it's almost like these cars that have went ahead and made their green flag pit stop are going to have to wait about another 20 laps before they can get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Ray Massey, it looks, I thought maybe for a second his speed was slowing down, but no, still out on the racing surface. Like I said, that last time around, he was only 700ths off of second place, as Jackson Wade, fresh tires, just off of pit road, going to take his time to go around Massey here. But you know, Massey's not losing a ton of time here to the race leaders. Last time by, Aiden Davis 32.42, 32.20 by Schmeier, 32.68 by Massey. So I mean, 0.2. I mean, it's not terrible. You're losing a little bit of time, but definitely could be a lot worse. It could be about half a second off the race lead, as we've seen some tracks the fall off be almost a full second. So I mean, Massey's still sticking within the confines of their time. So
yeah, Matt,
might try to flip.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you might try to flip onto their schedule with them and kind of match them, as he's racing here in that number 23 walking and rolling costumes machine there. Jacob Link diving underneath on fresh tires.
Yeah, so just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, you know, Ray Massey still on pace with the leaders, even on the older tires. So, you know, it was interesting that you mentioned about, you know, trying to stay out as long as you can. And looks like that's exactly what Ray Massey, the driver out of Kingsport, Tennessee, is doing. And a little fun fact about Ray Massey is that he is possibly the only driver with grandchildren, and he's got 4 of them.
I love that stat because if you ever see Ray Massey, it doesn't look like a guy that should have grandchildren. Is he now going to make his pit stop? So not quite going to make it as far as Aiden Davis and Jeff Schmeyers. It looks like Jackson Wade just got his lap back from those guys just up ahead. So now you got Jackson Wade again, those fresh tires, and now on the lead lap. And you know, when these guys come for their stop, I think for sure he's going to be able to jump over them. So now these guys are just kind of racing on slap there by Aiden Davis to the outside wall.
Yeah, if I'm Davis and Schmeier, I'm absolutely going to just keep an eye on the relative. I'm not really going to focus on it too much, as you've got an entire lap advantage over the field right now. But yeah, I think if I'm these two guys right here, I'm going to kind of do the same thing and push it as long as I can, and minimize the time lost, and hopefully pit at the perfect time, because as these guys are and Schmeier a little bit loose in the center of turn number 1 and 2, but yeah, being on this this off pitch strategy with the field pretty much being split as far as pitch strategy goes, it's loose for the 77 and the wall, and lost my train of thought there. But yeah, it's be interesting to see if these guys end up back on the same strategy later on in this race, as now both the 22 and the 77 feeling the effects of hot and worn tires.
Yeah, these guys just skating around. I mean, we're approaching about 40 laps on this set here, like you said. And these guys have been kind of battling out, swapping positions, first to second, second to first, over and over multiple times. And these guys, Aiden Davis goes in hot, sliding sideways. Jeff Schmeier, Aiden Davis going to lose it here, going to nose it, not quite nose it, and comes to a rest at the bottom. So caution out. That leaves 4 trucks on the race lead, on the lead lap, I should say. Puts Jackson Wade, he should cycle to the front if these guys take time, which if these guys stay out, I don't think that's the right call at all. But Jackson Wade won't come down, so that might actually trap everyone from 5th on back a lap down. Now Aiden Davis might get a penalty here for coming down pit road closed if it had not been opened. Yeah, I see the black flag popping up there now. So Aiden Davis going to get a penalty there too, which I think the penalty for closed pit is tail end of the longest line. But that's going to shake up a lot here. A lot of people going to be stuck a lap down from, like I said, about 5th on back. Going to be at least 1 lap down.
Yeah, and that's going to yield the race lead currently to Jackson Wade. And, oh no, let me, I stand corrected. Yeah, it should be Jackson Wade, but we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Jackson Wade, assuming the race lead after that exchange, and pace car leading him down the back straightaway as the rest of the field taking the wave around, going to try and get caught up as fast as they can. As we've now just extended the caution 1 lap so the field can get set, but we'll take a look at our 10-car lineup for this restart. It's going to be Jackson Wade and Jeff Scheimer on row 1, DeMarco Starks and Curtis Mitchell row number 2, and then row number 3 is going to be Ray Massey and Brenton Barker. Row number 4, Jacob Link and Tim Ruark, and row number 5 is going to be Patrick Craven and Aiden Davis. So Scheimer, nothing lost during that exchange. He was side by side with Aiden Davis for the lead before the caution came out. So nothing lost by the 22 machine. He's got fresh tires, and he'll be battling with Jackson Wade off this restart.
Yeah, and I mean Jackson Wade, he's got a little older tires, but I think should be able to fire off pretty daggone well, especially with how fast he's been so far. So I mean, I look for him to be strong here, and Jeff Schmeier going to be able to try to battle him for that spot. I think if you can get that lead, you play hold up as much as possible. We're certainly going to find out how that all works out here as that pace truck hands over the race lead to the 90 as he fires off. He leaves him in the dust. I mean, that's the biggest jump I think I've seen. And I don't mean jump is started early, just a good jump there by the 90 to get out front.
Yes, there's 3 wide behind him with Scheimer, Curtis Mitchell, and the number 44 of Tim Ruark, as Ruark currently going to be battling it out with Craven for that lucky dog position. Both drivers going to be looking to get a free pass should there be another caution, and it's kind of trending caution every 30 or so laps with the way that the tires are affecting the ability for some of these drivers to control the race car.
See those top 2 able to really set themselves apart. Everybody else still kind of right here in this little bunch. Mitchell trying to fight off Ray Massey side by side as they come off of turn number 4. Oh, a little close for comfort there.
Yeah, side by side out of turn number 2 for the 23 and the 316. And both drivers want that position. They want that clean air that's out in front of them for the time being. But we'll take a look back at the teammate of Curtis Mitchell. It's the 88, Brenton Barker, taking charge, getting around the 3 drivers battling it out for 6 right now. DeMarco Starch, Jacob Link, and Patrick Craven, as Ruark on the fresh tires wants to push as far as he can up to the front and see if he can't get back on the lead lap.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to see. I guess everybody is on the lead lap, but I guess we got to wave around maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I thought for sure that they would leave everybody a lap down, but I guess everybody got to wave around being in front of Jackson Wade still possibly. I might have missed that note there.
Yeah, I know there was a wave. There was a wave around, but I do not think it was admin initiated. So drivers had to stay out and catch that wave around, but that still left Craven and Ruark a lap down after that exchange. Oh, the 32 sideways. It's Chris Rude.
Yeah, Chris Rude joining us, 58 laps down, out here to have a good old time, just to hang out. One of the teammates to Ray Massey there in that walking and rolling costumes, number 32, to match the 23 of Massey.
Yeah, Chris Rude, he's running out of Kingsport, Tennessee with Milk Dud Motorsports, supporting Walking and Rolling Costumes. And his everyday job is working in IT. He's also the worship leader at his church, and he's got a son with special needs that uses a wheelchair to get around, and creating costumes for him. That's why he got involved with Walking and Rolling Costumes. So, you know, very noble thing that he's doing. He's, you know, Walking and Rolling Costumes, assuming that is a organization that makes Halloween costumes for children with disabilities, and more specifically children that need a wheelchair to get around.
Yeah, I've seen some of the costumes. You can go to their website for Walking and Rolling Costumes, and I think my favorite is still, I've seen one that was a fighter jet, but I saw one that was a combine, and he was dressed in, you know, overalls and the John Deere hat and everything like that, and that's so cool and creative at that. I mean, these costumes are beyond creative and extraordinary, so if you get a chance to take a peek and look, it's definitely worth it to see, and the smiles on each of those kids' faces is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe their website, if you're interested in checking them out, supporting the cause, it's walkinrollin.org. No G, so walkinrollin.org is going to be the website for Walking and Rolling Costumes. Number 22 of Jeff Scheimer has started to run away with this thing, out to 2.3 seconds out over the second place driver, Jackson Wade. So, again, the fresh tires for Scheimer. He was kind of the beneficiary of that last caution, as he was going to need to pit for tires anyway. And the rest of the field having only pit about 5 or 10 laps prior to that caution are definitely feeling it. As we take a look at our fastest 5 for 5 right now, Jeff Scheimer's currently got the fastest 5-lap average with a 31.39. So Scheimer seems to be the driver to beat at this point in the race.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect that 11-lap older tires of Jackson Wade would be that further away from, you know, those of Schmeier. I mean, Jackson could also be playing a little bit of strategy here as they get real tight and real close there, Ray Massey and Jackson Wade. But I definitely thought, I mean, he could be playing a strategy to, you know, kind of save his stuff a little bit, but I definitely thought he would be a lot tighter to that front truck than he is right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a thinking strategy game. Is Jackson Wade and Ray Massey are going to have to try and figure out a way to get on the same pit strategy as Jeff Scheimer, as that strategy is currently the one that is paying off and has got that number 22 machine out in front.
Oh, just as we get to Jacob Link, he's getting turned sideways. Does he save it? Not quite enough, and that's probably, and it is going to bring us under caution here, which, Jacob Link just always has just that small bit of bad luck that just seems to like to grab him each and every week, and this week it was that.
We're going to go back and take a look at the replay. You see the 04 of Patrick Craven just getting tight, trying to throw a slider in there, a little bit aggressive, but that gets the 74 out of shape and sends Jacob Link up into the wall. And ironic how I was saying that you know, Jackson Wade and Ray Massey need to figure out a way to get on the same pit strategy as Jeff Schmeier, and this caution came at the perfect time.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple of times, you know, that, you know, usually it's the outside truck getting loose, but we see, Jackson Wade making a dive down on the pit road. That was a last possible second if I've ever seen it, but you know, we see most of the time the guy on the outside gets loose and takes out the lower guy. But, you know, if you get back to that throttle too quick here, you can easily have a plowing truck. And, I mean, it happens so quick, it's hard to really kind of keep yourself from taking out the guy there to your outside.
Yeah, and the 04 taking a wave around there, and you know, we see Ray Massey opting to stay out, and Jackson Wade, Jacob Link, Aiden Davis, as well as a few others. Believe the 88 of Bretton Barker may have came down pit road as well. I do believe he did. So a little bit fresher tires surrounding Ray Massey there. It's going to be interesting to see how he decides to approach this restart and maximize his speed and limit the amount of spots that that he could potentially lose.
I mean, it's going to be a real interesting thing. I see Jacob Link got a black flag as well. I'm not sure what for, maybe a closed pit. But these guys are all kinds of spread out. You have Curtis Mitchell down on lap 45. You have Brenton Barker and a couple others, Jackson Wade and Jacob Link down lap 76. And then you have Schmeier and Massey down 58 and 52. So with such a small field, you have a very diverse cast of pit strategies here. It's certainly going to be an interesting interesting go here.
Yeah, Jeff Scheimer will have control on the restart. It's going to be his first point of the day with control as he makes his way into the restart zone and takes us back green.
Takes a good jump there and gets out pretty far. Curtis Mitchell actually making some ground here to the inside. Jackson Wade, where did he come from? Down there on the apron. That surprised me. He kind of wasn't in frame, and then all of a sudden I see him down there on the apron trying to get up inside of the 316. Does get there, almost 3 wide for the race lead. 3 wide kind of right now. Yeah, now 3 wide, drag race down the front stretch. Curtis Mitchell going to lead that lap. Jackson Wade, certainly fresher tires, going to have the advantage there. He's using all of that apron to get a good turn. Not something we've seen anybody else do. Mitchell with a good run down the backstretch, though, to complete and hold on to that P2 spot.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier about going down onto that apron. There's a lot of grip there, and you know, Jackson Wade being extremely disciplined on his throttle inputs. He's timed it perfectly and has thrown the slider and has now assumed the race lead.
Now Mitchell trying out that bottom apron. I mean, you've got the time. I mean, we haven't even crossed the halfway point here in this race. So you've got the time to kind of try out whatever you feel necessary. Is now Schmeier going to go to the inside of Mitchell. Again, Mitchell on about 36 lap old tires here, so definitely trying to save a set here for later on.
Yeah, as we look at the excuse me, the stint length, Curtis Mitchell's on 36 lap old tires and about 13 laps older than Scheimer. So you know, we've seen how older tires have affected drivers over the last few stints that we've had. So, but Curtis Mitchell right now running some decent lap times. He's running a 31.67 to the 64 of Scheimer. So Curtis Mitchell holding on there with 13 lap older tires than the 22 machine.
You can hear just how load up that motor gets, just with how much speed they have to take off to go around that corner. Especially, you know, Curtis Mitchell on those older tires. Just almost sounds like if this was a, you know, you would almost stall it out in 4th gear with how low those revs get.
Yeah, surprised he didn't opt to downshift. Maybe he's just going to try and stay off of the right rear as much as he can as far as, you know, RPMs are concerned, because those higher RPMs do make you more susceptible to spinning out. So, but, yeah, Curtis Mitchell, Ray Massey still on pace as well. You see Jacob Link there. Not Jacob Link. Jeff Schmeier getting a little bit loose out in front of that 316 of Curtis Mitchell.
Oh, that's that was a lot of action for one truck to be making right in front of another for Curtis Mitchell there. Definitely enough to make your heart stop for just a second. I mean, Jackson Wade has kind of put himself on an island while these three of Mitchell, Schmeier, and Massey decide to fight amongst themselves. Mitchell able to kind of put a little separation between those two, but Massey certainly coming through. Not quite as new stuff as Jackson Wade at the front of the field, but certainly newer than Curtis Mitchell here by about 13 laps. So look for Ray Massey to maybe make the jump up there into that P2 spot.
Curtis Mitchell sitting 3 seconds behind our race leader, Jackson Wade. Jackson Wade's got an entire turn. Now going to be an entire almost straightaway advantage over that 316 machine. So this number 90 Ram truck of Jackson Wade now taking control of the race with those fresher tires and doing what Jeff Schmeier was doing early on in the race. So it's the strategy has flipped, and now Jackson Wade has control and is running away.
I mean, up to almost 4 seconds now of a race lead. But it's one of those things, is how does it work as we get later? We're just about to complete lap 90, so just about to be actual halfway here for Jackson Wade. How's this going to play out as we get later? I mean, I feel if we get a late race caution, the best guy right now is sitting there with at least one extra set on the field in Curtis Mitchell in P2. I mean, he's come down, he's been running since lap 45 on this set. So, I mean, possible that he burned 2 sets already, or he's just sitting on a set hoping for possibly someone to have kind of the situation we've seen a number of times tonight where somebody just gets loose off corner and noses it into the wall, brings out a caution. You know, if we get that with, you know, say 10 or so to go, and, you know, he's the only guy out there with fresh brand new sticker tires, that's going to be killer for a little 10-lap run shootout.
Yes, we had a brief technical difficulty there. Not sure what happened. Everything just froze up on me, but yeah, it's without real-time knowledge of how many sets of tires these drivers has. As Curtis Mitchell now getting real sideways, coming off of turn number 4. It might be time for Curtis Mitchell to go ahead, bite the bullet, come down pit road, and put a fresh set of Goodyear stickers on that thing.
Definitely want that fresh Goodyear rubber for sure. Just kind of like peeking here, looking at the times, and I keep just watching as they tick off, and each lap I'm a little surprised at the fact that Curtis Mitchell last time by was barely a tenth off of the race lead, so I guess he's just been really good at saving those tires and not burning them up. Because, I mean, let's see, this time by is, Jackson Wade going to go across the line here momentarily. So Jackson Wade goes by, goes 31.89, and then as Mitchell goes across, goes 32.03, so 2/10 that time, so a little further off, but not as far as you would think for 30-lap older tires.
Yeah, absolutely not. That just shows the patience and the diligence in that number 316 machine. Is he's got some fresher tires behind him as well, so just goes to show anything can happen sideways for the 316. That's going to slow him down, lose about another 2/10 or so. That time by was a 32.33, so 3/10 on that exchange. But yeah, Curtis Mitchell, he's maybe he's trying to stretch it and make the rest of the race a two-stopper. In order to do that, he'll have to go at least another 4 laps. So we'll see just exactly what that 316 machine decides to do. Is we still got Massey and Schmeier battling it out as Ray Massey decides to come down pit road and will yield the position to Jeff Schmeier.
Jeff Schmeier shifting down into that third gear. Since I believe he was who we were riding with before that was also shifting, or that was shifting before, so I don't think anyone else has that same strategy, but it seems to work really well here for the 22 machine getting off corner.
Yeah, the downshifting really helps you drive off the corner, especially as you start to fall off. And we're going to hop on board here with Jackson Wade and see if that's the same strategy he's running. No, he's going to keep it in fourth, so you can see how many different options there are to navigate around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. As we have some drivers opting to downshift and some drivers just going to keep it in fourth and ride the wave, and can't blame the number 90 as he's 5 seconds out from Curtis Mitchell.
Looks like Patrick Craven going to make a stop here now, as well as Brenton Barker. So a couple different guys. Looks like Ray Massey and Tim Ruark making stops as well already. I'm just looking at the timing, and I was just about to say, I was like, Curtis Mitchell has to be running on fumes, and now does make that turn down into pit road. So going to be on fresh stuff here, about 24 laps fresher now than the race leader.
Yes, Curtis Mitchell now pulling into his pit box, and he'll go a lap down as Jackson Wade comes across the start-finish line here, and just shy of 80 laps to go, to be 79 to go. We'll take a look at pit stop strategies here. Curtis Mitchell, Ray Massey, Patrick Craven, Brenton Barker, Tim Ruark, all taking 4 tires just a few laps ago. And if you look, he's got Jackson Wade got 25 laps on his tires, and Jeff Schmeier, currently the oldest tires out on the track, as he's got 43 laps on those Goodyear tires.
He's pointing north of possibly going just as long as Curtis Mitchell did on that last run. with how he's going right now.
Take a look here at Patrick Craven in the number 04 machine. Patrick Craven running out of Greenwood, South Carolina for Full Blast 1. Patrick is prior military law enforcement. He's currently an emergency care registered nurse. He loves racing and spends a lot of time, spent a lot of his childhood on dirt oval racing karts. So some real life experience here for some of these drivers out here on the track, and yeah, it just goes to show how much real life translates to iRacing and vice versa. As a lot of drivers use racing simulators to prepare and perfect their craft.
Yeah, I can't say off road. The oval karts for dirt, I would love to have a hand and a go at that. I did some regular karts. I'm trying to think of asphalt karts. So I really would have loved to have a chance to take mine out on the dirt, because that's definitely a cool thought to do a kart. Like I've watched videos of it a ton of times, and it's just crazy how those things slide. And they definitely get going. I was like, I'm trying to find the words, because my words that I was going to say were not PG appropriate. But I also want to point out, I took a peek at the back of Patrick Craven's number 04 machine, and it says right on the back, in memory of his dad and their first paint scheme that they ran. So a nice touching tribute there for his dad, and definitely a cool paint team there.
Yeah, absolutely. As we take a quick look here at the 44 of Tim Ruark. Tim Ruark running for Great Lakes Sim 2, and his charity that he's supporting is the Northern Michigan Cancer Crusaders, and that was the charity that Great Lakes Sim decided to support the last race in Michigan. So it's a really great thing. I know we say it over and over again, but the Charity Cup Series is really built something extraordinary, and putting together these races and donating all the proceeds to charity is a very honorable thing to do, especially if you've got the extra to spare and you can donate to those in need. And it's just an extraordinary thing the Charity Cup Series has built.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to October when they run. I'll be running at Texas and running for the National Suicide Hotline. So looking forward to running in with these guys. I haven't ran in a little bit, so it's going to be nice to be able to hop back in and get some laps, maybe race for a good cause, hopefully raise some money for a good cause as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I ran, I believe back in April or May. I know there was 2 races I did. I did a race at Michigan, and then I did a race at Nashville just a few weeks back. And man, it's fun getting out there and
what was that?
Supporting your cause and just having fun. That's what it's all about, right?
110%. I mean, that's kind of what it started as, is just to have fun and raise money for a good cause. And I've done that for, oh man, I feel like it was yesterday that we just started, but been doing it for about 4 or so months, and it just continues to grow and continue to have fun with these events. It's gonna be weird not calling one. I've called every one from the start, and it'd be weird to be in the seat for one. You might have to pull me up and just so I can do commentary from inside. Be like, he goes to the inside from my seat.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a first. That would probably be pretty pretty interesting. And we did that with with Sam a little bit in the race in Michigan, pulled him up in the booth, and while he's racing, he's putting on a show for us. So yeah, maybe that's going to be the trend that we'll do for the sim racing media commentators. We'll just pull them in randomly throughout the race and really shake things up a little bit.
I noticed that when I start racing and I really need to focus, I noticed, and it's funny because I won't notice it for about 15 or so laps. I like stick my tongue out to the left side of my mouth, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I do that like, my tongue is dry. So I'm glad I won't have a cam on me, because if I did, that'd be probably one of the funniest things to see. Is now taking a peek over here on the leaderboard. Looks like Jeff Schmeier now making his stop. He was getting towards the end of the life of those tires. Was down lap 56, comes back down now. Taking a peek here at Jacob Link, currently in the P2 spot. He's right there on the same schedule as Jackson Wade, but look no further than just right off the rear bumper as Curtis Mitchell. Last down, lap 99, so fresher stuff, trying to get by that 74 machine and go fight to make up about a 25-second gap to Jackson Wade, which it's a tremendous gap there for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see how these last 65 laps go. As you see Curtis mentioned, they're getting sideways in the center of the corner right there. But, if and when Jackson Wade pits, they'll pretty much come out side by side. But, yeah, Jackson Wade going to have about, 20 lap fresher tires at that point. So, yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how this thing plays out.
I mean, 24-second gap and a massive tire difference. I feel like, he comes down pit road here in the next, he's just crossing 40, so could probably go about another 10 laps or so on this fuel window. I think he said max was like 58 or so. So it could be like the next 10, 15 or so laps. And as long as he doesn't lose a ton of time, would put himself right there basically on the back bumper of Mitchell after his stop. Set him up for a really strong run towards the end. You figure 15 laps from now would put him maybe just inside the window by a couple of laps to make it to the end. So definitely keep an eye on this 90 and the 316, as those two definitely going to be fighting it out here towards the end. Massey just about 2 seconds off the bumper of Mitchell, running about the same schedule as Mitchell here. So we've got a large spread out of drivers. I think the three big front runners or front four, I should say, are Link, Massey, and Mitchell, with Wade on a completely different schedule.
Yeah, and
Link.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say Link is on a similar schedule to Jackson Wade as well.
Yeah, so I do believe Jackson Wade, he'll probably be able to go about another 12 laps on fuel. If he makes it another 12 laps on fuel, he'll have enough just barely to make it to the end. He might have to save a lap or two, but with this 22-second gap that he's got, I'm not sure how much it'll affect him, as Curtis Mitchell will have to pit at least one more time before the end of the race.
Yeah, I think if you're Jackson Wade, you're praying that everybody can keep these trucks underneath them, because I think it'll just kind of fall in your lap. If it stays the schedule that it is, you'll be able to kind of run your last. I thought the way the camera definitely played a little trick on me. I thought he was sliding a little far sideways. But if it stays in the current track or the current tracking, I guess is the word I'm looking for. If it's tracking the way it is, Jackson would come down. He would be about he'd probably fall to third, because Link would have to make a stop with him. and he would probably be flipped about a 20-second gap to those guys as Link now makes his stop. It'd be about a 20-second gap from those guys, just waiting for them to make their stop as Wade blinks in and out a few times. So having some connectivity issues we've seen once already this season. The race leader of Jacob Link a couple of weeks ago lose connection, so we have to keep an eye on that there. That would be a devastating end to Jackson Wade's campaign here tonight.
Yeah, Jacob Link coming down pit road as he will have to figure out how to make it to the end of the race because, yeah, he'll be about 7 laps short.
Which, yeah, I don't think you can save that much. I mean, I think now Wade is just kind of approaching that window of, being right on the edge of being able to make it. Definitely have to maybe save about a half a lap or so if he were to come down in the next lap or two. But if he can make it a handful of laps, it would put him about 55 and under to get to the finish. I mean, you'd definitely be staring at that fuel calculator the entire time, but definitely not going to be far off from the being able to make it to the end.
Yeah, we'll take a look at Jackson Wade's lap times. Jackson Wade, well, he's not the fastest driver last time by, but running a 32.4 to Curtis Mitchell's 31.9. So Curtis Mitchell running about 0.5 of a second faster. He's gained probably about 5 seconds over the last 10 laps or so, but Jackson Wade still holding a 20-second gap over Curtis Mitchell and a 24-second gap over the third-place driver, Ray Massey.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, if Curtis Mitchell can make up enough time to get, I mean, I think he's going to run out of time. I know he's kind of gaining about a half second. Actually, that last lap, they ran dead even, which is pretty crazy. If he could, keep knocking off a half second a lap and, get there within, I don't know, about 10 seconds, it might come into play that he could have a run there towards the end. But I feel like Curtis, he'd have to just kind of maybe pit the same time. I don't know. This is where strategy starts to get really finicky. One little false move can drastically change the complexion of how your run goes. As it looks like now that last time by just 0.2 faster than the race leader, Jackson Wade. So Jackson Wade's still having a strong run here.
Yeah, and as we take a look at our lap leaders, Jackson Wade, most laps led tonight with 52. Then Aiden Davis has led 31, Curtis Mitchell 25, and Jeff Schmeier has led 20 laps. So about 4 different leaders so far throughout this race here at New Hampshire.
Last time by 31.68 by Curtis Mitchell, 32.49 by Jackson Wade. So picking up a ton of time there. Ray Massey here, he's running just inside the 32s, kind of similar to that of Jackson Wade. So Mitchell having still a ton of time, but still 18.8 seconds off the race lead. but it shrinks so fast. It went down to 18.5 seconds, 18.4, as now Jackson Wade going to make his stop. So Curtis Mitchell going to assume the race lead here as Wade makes that pit stop. Total time typically around 40 seconds on pit road, so Mitchell should probably take about a 20-second lead here.
Jackson.
That's going to take the race lead now over Jackson Wade. So if all stays the same here, Jackson Wade should be able to flip and go to the race lead by about 20 to 30 seconds, depending on how these guys, how long these guys make this run out for. So Curtis Mitchell going to be about, let's see, Jackson Wade was on pit road for about 41 seconds, so about 14.6 seconds back from the race lead of Curtis Mitchell. So, I mean, that should set Mitchell up for an absolute dog or cakewalk to the end here, as long as everything stays green. If it doesn't stay green, it would kind of put Mitchell in the Mitchell and Massey in really good spots. So Jackson Wade just begging that everyone keeps it straight.
Yeah, one thing to also keep in mind, Jordan, is Mitchell is going to have to pit within the next 20 laps. He's got 33 laps on the stint right now, and with the fuel window being about a max of 52 laps, he'll be pitting around lap 153. So I think
I saw some smoke. I was trying to. Oh yeah, there goes Tim Ruark a little sideways there in front of Jackson Wade. He's going to just go down to the bottom and get out of the way of the number 90 machine. Certainly not something Jackson wants to be seeing in his out his windshield.
No, and already Jackson Wade in 3 laps has cut that lead from 14 seconds down to about 11 and a half. Right now, if I'm Jackson Wade, I'm not going to push. I'm just going to put down some consistent lap times, save some tire, and he'll cycle back to the lead here in just probably about 18 laps.
And I think we've already seen 4 seconds ate up out of that race lead, so I think that's just going to continue to diminish. So that by the time that Mitchell decides to make his dive down pit road, I think that's just going to give Jackson Wade almost a full lap of. Jackson Wade could finish this race the only truck on the lead lap at the rate that we are going.
Yeah, and if that is the case, that's going to be all she wrote. So we'll see here in just about 14 laps. But ladies and gentlemen, real quick, we are going to step away and take a brief break. But don't worry, you're not going to miss any of the action as we go Sim Racing Media side by side. back on board here with the number 90 of Jackson Wade cycling back up to the race lead as we anticipated he would do. And now the 04 of Craven comes down pit road, and that'll leave a 26-second gap between the second place driver Curtis Mitchell and the race leader of Jackson Wade.
Yeah, and it's just going to be all go here for the number 90, as you know, just a 50-lap run here to the end. And I say just a 50. We've seen how badly those tires fall off, and that's a lot of time to try to make up. I'm trying to be an optimist for the other drivers, but right now Jackson Wade is running in the mid 31s now, which shows he's not really pushing as hard as possible. And I mean, with a 26-second gap, you don't really need to.
No, and now he's trying to navigate around the 74 of Jacob Link, who was on the lead lap in fourth, now going a lap down. So, you know, you saw that exchange between Wade and Link in turn number 4, as Link was trying to battle to try and stay on the lead lap, but no match for the number 90 of Jackson Wade is way out in front, almost an entire track length in front of Curtis Mitchell. We'll take a look and see where he is. He's coming out of 2. Jackson Wade coming out of 2. You see Curtis Mitchell up there, 2 cars in front of him. So, yeah, Curtis Mitchell's going to have a lot on his hands to try and get back up and contend for the race win.
I mean, down to 25 seconds, so only lost a second in the handful of laps. So you know Curtis is going to be pushing a lot harder than 90, especially again with that gap. So it's all going to be in, you know, if Mitchell can even get there, and if he does, you know, does he have enough left to pass? It's one thing to catch somebody. We've seen time in and time again that, you know, once you catch somebody, passing them becomes a completely different game.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. And, you know, we see it more, you know, in the next-gen cars, but, you know, still just as difficult to pass, you know, in the trucks, especially at these short tracks, is, you know, it really pushes your skills to the test. Where, you know, a lot of us are, you know, we're just used to running the 1.5 miles in the super speedways, which don't really require, you know, a lot of braking and finesse. And, you know, these short tracks really kind of separate, you know, separate the drivers as far as, you know, skill level is concerned.
Yeah, I know me. I see anything that's under a mile, and even some of the mile racetracks I skip. Like Dover. Dover is one of my absolute favorites. It's a local track to me, and I absolutely love Dover. But when it comes to racing it, I would rather not. So, you know, like you said, 1.5 miles to you know, 2 miles and over. Those are, you know, where we shine, and by shine I mean don't wreck. But, you know, these tracks, especially New Hampshire, again, no banking. You see these guys just trying to use the apron to maybe find a little bit more speed. And, you know, that transition, even though it's such a small banking, it can easily kind of offset your truck. And even if you know, get too down on the apron, you grab a little bit of grass, and with how slick it already is, you put a little bit of grass on those tires, especially with the, you know, I know for the road racing, you can kick up, you know, dust and dirt and debris on the track. I don't know if it's part of the oval system yet, but I mean, that easily can send you around as well. So definitely one of those things to watch. I mean, Mitchell down to 22.5 seconds here now, with just about to be 31 to go here. So still a ton of time, but it feels like an eternity away, especially if you're that 316 machine, and you know Jackson Wade is probably saving his stuff, as the last time around went 32.0 to Curtis's 31.5, so not pushing that truck nearly as hard as the other two of Massey and Mitchell are.
Yeah, and if my math is correct, Jackson Wade will have enough to make it to the end, which should just leave him, the 316 of Mitchell, and the 23 of Massey, the only 3 drivers on the lead lap. You know, obviously assuming leaving out the variables, and that being a late race caution here, they'll definitely shake things up. I would almost assume every driver would come down pit road, but the way the field is spread out right now, you know, I hate to throw a wrench into things. You know, these probably going to be the closest 3 drivers on track, so really good separation, and you know, shouldn't be any you know, truck-on-truck violence in the last 30 laps of the race.
Truck-on-truck violence. I like that one. That's music to my eyes. Oh man, I had to give that that one for Gary there.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, coming down to the wire here. 29 laps to go. Will be 28 as Jackson Wade crosses the start-finish line, and yeah, it's been a really interesting race so far. We've had a lot of lead changes. We've had some contacts, some cautions, and you know, we talked about it earlier. The best strategy of the race isn't the winning strategy until the leader crosses the start-finish line, and yeah, Jackson Wade in prime position right now to come away with a checkered flag here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, the solo Great Lakes Sim 1 racer looking to be put Great Lakes Sim 1 back in the winner's circle, as out of all the races, only one so far has been won by someone that's not a Great Lakes Sim 1 racer or named Jacob Manning. As Jacob Manning won all the races so far. Massey got one, and then Tamoya got one last time out, so I forgot that Tamoya was not a part of Great Lakes Sim 1. I don't believe. I think he was a later entry, but Jacob Manning was on the run. My math is terrible in my head, or my remembery, as my other half would like to say, her remembery. Jacob Manning won 3 out of 4, and then Massey and Tamoya able to get wins. So Jackson Wade looking to get Great Lakes Sim 1 back in the win column. Looking to do so as he has a 20.6 lead over Curtis Mitchell with just 25 laps to go here in this thing.
Yeah, it would take 20 laps if Curtis Mitchell was running an entire second faster than Jackson Wade, and you know, looking at the lap times, is only running about 4/10 faster. So if nothing crazy happens, this is looking like how it's going to finish with Wade, Mitchell, and Massey on the podium. Wade obviously would be the winner, but stranger things have happened, as we're now 24 laps to go for Charity Cup Series at New Hampshire.
And if my notes are correct, I believe that would also be a clean sweep for awards for Jackson Wade as well. Would be the highest finishing ladder climber. If the winner can still receive that award, I have to get clarification on that. But he would be the highest mover, unless Jeff Schmeier can get up to, well, Jeff Schmeier's a lap down to Ray Massey. So if Brenton Barker could get up, maybe get the spots for Schmeier and Links somehow with a caution and getting a lap back, Jackson Wade would get the ladder climber as well as maybe the cleanest driver, depending on incident points. I don't think he's touched anything tonight, so I think that would put him in the it doesn't show any incident points for him as we run, so it'd be clean sweep for the awards there. And then the race wins. So looking to maximize on points and as well as winnings for his charity of choice, which is the Bundle of Joy Foundation, right there on the hood and quarter panels. As he blinks out now, and some more connectivity issues there for Jackson Wade.
And I do believe that that might be a first in the Charity Cup Series with the driver sweeping all the awards. Well, I'm going to stand corrected. The only other award that he wouldn't get is the Great Lakes Sim Pole Challenge Award, as that would have gone to Curtis Mitchell should he have come away with a win. So it would have been nice to see a full sweep across the board, but still a great max points day for Jackson Wade, as he's still having some connection issues. I'm pretty sure he's on his rig right now praying that he doesn't have any more packet losses. You see him blinking in and blinking out. Jackson Wade is, all that's not what you want to have happen late in the race. You see him just constantly blinking in and out. Hopefully he can hang on for the win.
Thankfully for him, though, with this being such a small field, I don't believe he'll be hit with that penalty of connectivity issues. We've seen it. Oh, caution. Caution on the racing surface, and who would it be? It looks like Tim Ruark. So that's going to change a lot here, as it went from a surefire Jackson Wade
on the
win,
44
by the way it was shaping
self-spin.
up with just 19 laps to go. Take a look here at Tim Ruark as he gets off corner here. And just going to get loose, try to keep it going, and then just noses into that inside wall.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the 44. Even more unfortunate for Jackson Wade is now his 20-second lead is gone. It absolutely just disappeared, and we'll be restarting here with about 14 laps to go.
Well,
so
what do you know?
Yeah, and if
Another lap
if
stop
I'm not,
car implication,
if I'm not
and
wrong,
immediately leave.
I don't know how many stops he has made, but might not have a set sitting on the pit lane wall like Curtis Mitchell should have. Curtis Mitchell should have a set sitting on the pit lane wall with how long he ran that first run. So there's also a possibility that Curtis Mitchell has a fresh set of tires, and with just 3 cars on the lead lap, I mean, if the other 2 can get wave arounds, would find himself sitting right there in the 5th place spot-ish, roughly. Schmeier's going to get his lap back. Jackson Wade's still dealing with those connectivity issues as well, so a whole mess of something going on here right now with these guys. See if there's any takers for pit lane here. I believe it should open up here shortly.
And I'm pretty sure everybody out of tires. Pit road is open with everybody, with the exception of Jacob Link coming down pit road, and
yeah, it looks like everybody else staying on the racing surface. And now this is where Jackson Wade could be hit with a connectivity penalty if he doesn't, if it doesn't get under control. I mean, we saw that happen to a couple of people. They were, a little further back in the pack. So with just coming to 15 to go here, once they get to the line, 15 lap shootout here for the top 4, I should say. Schmeier's going to have to be to the back of this tail end of the longest line for being the lucky dog. But now Jeff Schmeier going to be in the hunt for this. So Jeff Schmeier could even, possibly get his nose up into some of these people, and maybe even bring us to a possible green-white checker. Gonna see here is Jackson Wade gonna have control and fire off, and gets a good jump. A lot better of a jump for Massey and Wade than Curtis Mitchell. As Wade's gonna want to get out of dodge here, as Massey gonna be right underneath the 316. Does the 316 have enough to clear? He does. and sets his sights now on the 90 of Wade. So he's going to go down and he's going to hit that apron like he's been doing this entire run, going to hit that apron and try to get a good drive off. Going to be side by side as they come off the corner, drag race down the front stretch. It's going to be Wade that time around, 14 to go here. As Mitchell going to drive in deep, try to get as much as he can. Doesn't make much contact, if any at all. And once again, a drag race. So Mitchell really putting it in there, and Massey just sitting and lying in wait there.
Yeah, it looks like Jackson Wade is pretty composed right now. His truck looks, you know, really in shape, so to speak, and really settled. And Curtis Mitchell just appears to be fighting that wheel just a little bit as he's really pushing for that lead. He wants that Great Lakes Sim Pole Challenge
and it
Award.
Looks like he's going to get it. He's going to get the spot from Jackson Wade. Now 13 laps, coming to 12 to go. Does Jackson Wade still have enough to give him anything? And honestly, with how Mitchell's been running, you're going to have to be really inside of his truck to be able to, you know, run any lower than Mitchell has.
Yeah, you can see it looks like the 90 of Wade backing up the corner a little bit and trying to get a run on exit. He's going to have to find the juice to squeeze out of that citrusy fruit that is a number 90 machine. And yeah, he's going to have to do something different as Ray Massey right up on the bumper of that number 90 machine. As we'll take a look at this battle from the rear of Curtis Mitchell.
I mean, the best thing for Curtis Mitchell would be to see those two get side by side and fight each other for that P2 spot. Oh, big slides by both Massey and Jackson Wade. It sounded like maybe even Mitchell got a little sideways as well. So these guys are fighting for every bit of traction that they can.
And you can see all that rubber that's getting picked up and then shed away from the tires of the number 316 machine as this battle behind him is really starting to heat up, and that's doing nothing but allowing the 316 of Curtis Mitchell to pull away as we see Ray Massey almost getting to the left rear of the number 90 machine.
Yeah, the more that he can pressure him, the more, again, that it's going to look like heaven to Curtis Mitchell. He's only able to keep about a 0.6 of a second to 0.5 of a second lead over Jackson Wade, but you don't need much if you can keep a lead. As Massey's still right there just inside, trying to run about a half a lane deeper down on the bottom than Jackson Wade. It seems like Mitchell's able to really get into the corner really well, but then Wade and Massey are really able to drive it off corner a little better than Mitchell is. As now Massey goes down to the inside, trying to get as much as he can right there to the left rear quarter panel of the number 90 machine, and then tucks right back inside. We've seen it lap after lap, and it's really helping that 316 keep his gap from diminishing up to about 0.7 of a second here now. It should shrink down to about 0.6 of a second as they make the run down the front stretch. So yeah, I mean, corner exit is great for Jackson Wade, but as they get into the corner, Mitchell's able to drive it in just a hair deeper, make up some time. That time, 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, the thing that's going to make it more difficult for the 90 and the 23 is they're so close together, and you know, Massey's trying to get around Wade. Wade's trying to be defensive, and with them being so close together, you know, if I'm Wade, I'm worried about, you know, getting run over. And
Massey with a big slide on corner entry there, able to keep it under him and able to use it to maybe even try to drive up alongside the 90 side by side. They're going to drag race down the backstretch, get the advantage to the 90 here for a moment, as now Mitchell has made his gap to a 1.5 second gap.
You know,
He's just hoping that for the next 5 to 6 laps, 5 laps now, that these guys can keep it clean and keep themselves pointed forward.
yeah, it looks like Massey's got a little bit of an advantage in turns 1 and 2, and then Wade able to keep it high in 3 and 4 and getting that drive off down the front straightaway and not allowing Massey to get up to that quarter panel to pull him back.
Yeah, this time it looks like not as much of a challenge there for Wade, but has the damage already been done with just 4 laps to go here? You know, these guys are just going to basically be fighting for second best here tonight. As now Massey once again to the inside, going to tuck back inside, or back behind Jackson Wade. Massey not able to get as good of a run off the corner being that low and that tight to the 90, but able to really pull up to him when they're clear. Is now Mitchell out front by almost 2 seconds, a little premature 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I can only imagine the thoughts that are going through the mind of Jackson Wade after the caution comes out and he's forced to rescind his 20-second lead, which ultimately has awarded the win to Curtis Mitchell. As once he was able to get in front, the number 90 and the 23 of Massey were just battling it out, and that only allowed him to pull out further, as he's now out to 2 seconds in front of Jackson Wade.
2-second lead, 2 laps to go, coming to 1 to go for the driver of the number 316 machine here. As Curtis Mitchell has been very close to victory several times this year. Strategy takes him out, or you know, just the strong running of another driver and just not having enough. But tonight, here for the 316, taking the white flag as it flies through the air, the 316, Curtis Mitchell, owner-operator of this league, the creator of the Charity Cup Series, going to go down the backstretch for the final time tonight. I can't help but feel a little emotional up here just for Curtis Mitchell, as he's going to round turns 3 and 4 and come off 4 for the final time. Curtis Mitchell, you are a winner in your own league of Charity Cup Series and will win here at New Hampshire. Ooh, I feel emotional. It's like watching my own driver win. Like it is no surprise Mitchell getting a race win here. It's just, I'm so glad it's finally happened, as he's going to drift it through 3 and 4 and just burn it down, and still keeps it off the wall.
Yeah, a little,
you can see the emotion there for the driver of the 316. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to keep talking over you. I'm just so excited for the driver in that machine right there.
Yeah, it's a 360 burnout for the 316 machine, as he and his teammate are going to burn it down on the start-finish line.
And I just absolutely cannot wait for this interview whatsoever.
Yeah, it's going to be one for the record books. And you know, speaking of the race winner, we're going to go ahead and pull him up here in chat. Curtis Mitchell, Joe, and Jordan in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, I got you.
Hey, so as you perform your victory burnout and receive the award for the Vibrance Media, from Vibrance Media. Yeah, how's it feel? Walk me through the race and tell me how it was through those final laps. Once you were able to get in front of Jackson Wade.
That was wild. Well, yeah, huge shout to Phil and Vibrance Media for the Victory and Burnout sponsorship. That's been a huge foundation for getting this thing rolling. All of our sponsors, Lisbon Creek, Langer's Auto Spa, LMM Marketing, Healthy Hearts, all of our sponsors. And then we got Hydro Hot in the hood today. So huge shout out to them. Yeah, this race was just wild. We should not have won this one. at all. Jackson had this one in the bag. He had the pit strategy when he went in on whatever lap 76 was that, so he could one stop it, and we were all screwed. But that self spin, unfortunately for Tim, with 25 to go, I kind of had a feeling it was sealed, and yeah, we were able to. That first run, I've never been more embarrassed in my life after that first green flag run. I went from the lead to like 7th, and I was 12 seconds back. I was like, okay, this has to change. I got to do something different. So sent it to the bottom, saved some tires, and was able to pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely. And, ladies and gentlemen, Curtis isn't in victory lane tonight just because of luck, right? It was earned, it was strategic, planned, and extremely well executed. And in iRacing, it's not just about speed, it's consistency, tire management, knowing when to push and when not to. But remember, you're in a race too. Every single day is another lap, and just like iRacing, it takes discipline, experience, and strategy to move forward. And that's where Vibrance Media comes in. They've built tools designed to help you grow, improve, and thrive in your own journey, your own race. So if you want to learn more, visit vibrance.community or connect with Phil Ransom. Now, Curtis, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I gotta say, I'm glad you pulled that there. I'm so excited to just kind of go rate and really good at getting that in there. But Curtis, I was so excited to see you come across the line. I felt like I was watching Chase Elliott come across the line. I was so excited to see that 316 finally hit victory lane. I just have to say that.
I appreciate that, man. Had a unique feeling going into this one. I love New Hampshire. I love the scheme that I put together, and it just Lord allowed it to pull through on this one. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, and Curtis, you've came away with the Great Lakes Sim Pole Challenge Award. So $100 donated additionally.
I forgot about that. No way.
So
oh, that's wild.
Yeah, and just a great all around night, and we're gonna hope you stick around because we're gonna get ready and continue these interviews as
Absolutely.
We go ahead and bring in our second place finisher of the night, Jackson Wade. Jackson, this is Joe, Jordan, and Curtis in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, so I don't even know where to start. You've had about a 20-second lead there with just about 16 laps to go, and then that caution came out. And what does that just do for you mentally as you have to re-rack and then battle it out to get the lead again?
I mean, first of all, it just sucks whenever you're sitting pretty, and all you can think about is whether or not one of the 9 cars on track is going to spin by itself. So that's hard to get over, but ultimately you get one to go and you got to lock back in. So I was just trying to do my best there on that final run. I knew I was at a deficit. Just wish I could have had Curtis side by side for a couple more laps like I did Ray. I was able to hold him off at I think even Ray had fresher tires than Curtis. So just kind of sucks once you get to the finish, but yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, no, unfortunate turn of events, but you still come away with a solid points night, and second place finish here. You've got some money donated to your charity, and I do believe Curtis has a little bit more information as far as that is concerned.
Yeah. Well, first, Jackson, I cannot express how heartbroken I am for that. That was all yours. With the 11 cars in the field, that's a tough way to end it. So you ran a good race. Second place. Your second. We didn't have many guys, so the charity donations are not vast this week. But $16 for your second place headed to your organization that you're representing. I think you're doing Bundle of Joy this week.
Correct.
Bush. Yeah. So we'll send 16 there, and then you did get the cleanest driver as well. So we'll send another 25. So $41 headed over there for you. That just racks up a huge total that you guys have sent to them for your guys' performance with the Great Lakes. So I know you're not not feeling it right now, but anyone you want to thank or shout out here before we move on to Ray?
Yeah, I mean, just first of all, you, Curtis, and for putting all this together and having just a fantastic idea to be doing this kind of charity stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, second place is second place on a game that I'll forget that this even happened in a month. But
Yep.
at this moment, I'm upset. But what lasts longer is the donations that we send to charity. So that's fantastic. Just everybody up here for broadcasting as well. I know it's sometimes can be a bit slow on a short track with 11 cars, but you guys, I'm sure, stuck through with it and made it a good watch. So I'd be excited to go back and watch that soon. I don't really know where to go after that, but I mean, I don't know. I guess I was my own team tonight, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Well, I appreciate you running it. It helped with the car count because we were struggling there. So, no, you guys, you and Jacob and your team you guys continue to put on great shows. So I'm excited to see you guys run the classics here in the fall, and we'll be sure to see you in victory lane here soon.
Yep, sure hope so. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, boss.
Yes, sir. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your second place finisher, Jackson Wade. We're going to get ready. Cue up the third place finisher of tonight, Ray Massey, in just a second. And believe we've got Ray right here. Here he goes. All right. Ray Massey, third place finisher tonight. Front row Joe, Jordan Brockell, and Curtis Mitchell in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you guys.
Hey, man. So, yeah, hard fought race. Ended up coming away with P3 tonight. Kind of walk me through, the race and some of the things you were feeling in your truck, and just what it took. What did it take for you to come away with your third place finish tonight?
Well, I'll start out by saying I have a love-hate relationship with this track. I love to hate it. I'm not a flat track kind of guy, so I had pretty low expectations for tonight. So to come out here with a podium is pretty good. I didn't have anything for Curtis and Jackson. I was just kind of hanging on for the ride there, and that last caution threw everything upside down. So I'd like to know where Curtis came up with that line he was running, because that's
me too. I don't know, dude. That's
the most unorthodox line I've ever seen. I tried it and I couldn't do it.
I couldn't believe it. I don't know what you had brake bias going. I shot it all the way down and just tried to just wrap the bottom like a short track, and I don't know what happened, but well, hey, listen, you got $15. Entries were low, so we're not doing huge charity donations, unfortunately. But $15 headed to Walking and Rolling on top of the couple hundred that you've already sent over there with your 4 wins this year. So that's they'll be encouraged to see that. You just keep on putting up podiums, and hopefully we can get some more guys here in the fall for our classics and get some more momentum headed into the next year. I like what we're doing, and I appreciate you and your Milk Dud team sticking around to help us keep this going. So.
Oh yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and this summer series is. Race after race is different strategies, and it's a handful to keep up with. It's a lot of fun just to figure out when to take tires and when to take fuel, and yeah, it keeps my dad busy up on the pit box.
Oh yeah. Anybody you want to thank here before we get Jeff in the booth?
Yeah, thank my dad. I always appreciate him coming in doing tire strategy, pit strategy, stuff like that. And shout out Walking Rolling Costumes. They do a lot of great work for kids in wheelchairs and walkers. So we'll keep sending them as much money as we can. And thank you, Curtis, and the guys in the booth.
Absolutely.
Love this series, and we got to keep it going.
Thanks, man. You have a good night. Thanks for hanging with us today.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead. We're actually going to bring up our Ladder Climber Award winner tonight. That's going to be Mr. Jeff Schmeier. Jeff, you got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man. So most spots gained tonight, finishing 3 spots ahead of where you started. Had a little bit of a smaller field tonight, but you led a bunch of laps, and unfortunately unable to come away with the win. But just kind of walk me through how the race was for you, and what you felt about your strategy and how your truck was feeling out there on this super flat track that is New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah, my truck felt pretty good. Unfortunately, I kind of got off strategy a little bit at the beginning because I had taken my first set of tires on the first caution. Um, so I spent a lot of time just uh, off off pit strategy, which got me some good time in the lead, which is pretty nice. So I had to do a small stint with my old tires, which is what kind of set me behind. But I'm glad I was able to keep it up on the lead lap and get a good finish. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. It was still a good points day, overall. And I do believe you'll have some funds donated to your charity, and we'll let Curtis break the good but unfortunate news at the same time as though driver count was low. So all that good stuff.
Sending
Curtis.
pennies today. We're sending
Yeah.
sending pennies over. So no, it's fine. But Jeff, first off, you don't have to disclose everything that happened. What you and Link got together there at the end, I thought that was going to trigger the caution, and you seemed to recover. Were you just curious on what that deal was? Were you able to go in and get fixed? Did you have damage? How'd that happen?
Oh no, I didn't have any damage. Yeah, that was just a miscommunication because I was gonna go inside and then he took my line, so and I
Yep.
didn't have time to brake. So
I see. I was so excited because I thought it was going to be a caution. I knew you guys weren't destroyed, and it kept green, and I thought that was it. But anyway, I'm sorry. $13 for your fourth place finish, but you also got the Lisbon Creek ladder climber, so that's another 25. So we'll send 38 over to and Alzheimer's Motorsports, and you've, like I said to everyone else in here, you guys have already sent so much over there in the past couple months. So even though it's a little bit, every little bit matters, and we're going to keep trying to build that, and I'm glad that you were able to send some more funds. I'm sure Bill will be excited to see that.
Yeah, of course. I love driving for Bill, and I love driving for this league. I'm gonna try and stick around as much as I can and make more money for Bill.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, man. Well, you have a good night. Thanks for running tonight.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the interview portion of the night.
Oh, we do have one more. Sorry, Joe. I don't mean to interrupt you. We do have fifth place. We got to get Lincoln here real quick.
Okay, awesome.
I'm excited to see what he has to say. Move. There we go. I got you.
Jacob Link, Joe, Jordan, and Curtis in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
You sound happy. Oh man.
Where am I? Yeah, I can listen to you guys through my speak. I don't know why my phone speaker's not working, so we'll figure it out. I can hear you guys though. There we go. I got you guys.
Yeah. So Jacob, kind of give me an overview on how the race went for you, starting in on the front row tonight, and then ultimately finishing in P5.
Yeah, I just spun my tires really bad on the restart. That was pretty embarrassing, but I was down first gear and spun them. And then I knew that one was going to try and push, so I tried to save the best of my ability, just making my exits low. But I got involved in some unfortunate situations with that first caution that came out down, and then maybe the lucky dog, which brought me to the tail end of the field rather than the wave around. So that hurt my chances a little bit. Then I got hooked by someone, I won't mention their name. And then I went for a Hail Mary strategy of I'm going to just do one more stop. And it almost worked, except I had I just was clutching and saving, and I ran into the back of because they didn't know I was clutching and saving. So that kind of ended my chances. It was kind of unfortunate just because I had saved an extra set of tires. So if I didn't have damage, I was like, okay, I can take the waiver, but I still would have needed one more caution. So at the end of the day, I knew it was a long shot, but I just had even under one of the cautions, got a black flag that they said I was passing under yellow, and I don't even know how I passed under yellow.
We cleared that one, right?
Yeah, you guys cleared that, but I had to So I have a VR headset, and I had to take off the headset, go on my
Oh
phone, go on
no.
Discord, and so I lost half a lap. So that didn't help me either.
Oh,
But
I
it's
feel
okay.
bad.
It's all good. I was just happy I didn't get disqualified. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get disqualified for this black flag. So I tried to make the most of it. It was fun for a little while. I know that I just gotta have a little bit better luck, but overall it was I mean, I still got 5th place out of it, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's a good points day, right? Milk Dart Motorsports, 2 drivers finishing in the top 5. So that'll be a good points day in the chase for the Cup, and as well as getting some money donated to your charity.
Yeah, I'm so glad about that. Shout out to the Eric Jones Foundation. I appreciate them and what they do. Um, and that's outside of the Lord above. There's not too many other people to shout out here outside of those two. But yeah, I'm glad that I can finally get them a donation. It's been a few weeks, so it's been a little bit since I've gotten them a donation. So yeah.
Well, I'll get the payout here data for you. As you know, we didn't have many guys here, so with our 10 entries, not as much going to charity this week, but you do have a mere $12 headed to Eric Jones Foundation that we'll send over this evening.
Well,
so that rounds out at $80 headed there for the top 5, as well as the 50 from the awards, and then the 100 for that poll challenge. So still decent, compounded from the last couple weeks, but
well,
all in all pretty solid race. Appreciate you being a part of
well.
it, man.
Well, it's always better than 0. So
It is better
whenever
than
it's
0.
not 0, it's always a positive thing. So
Absolutely, man.
I can't wait for Homestead. That will be a fun race. I
Oh yeah.
cannot wait.
Yep, it's gonna be good.
Overall, I thought this event was great. So
Thanks for
yeah.
running, man.
If you guys have any more questions for me?
I think that'll do it. I think we're gonna wrap up, get the finishing grid, and get ready for next week. So thanks for
Yep.
running, Link. Appreciate you being in here.
Yep. I'll see you around, Curtis, and the rest of the booth. Thank you for what you do to broadcast these races. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go over the finishing order and details for the night. You had Curtis Mitchell finishing first, Jackson Wade coming away in second, and Ray Massey finishing third. You had Jeff Schmeier in fourth, Jacob Link in fifth, Bretton Barker finishing out in sixth. Seventh place is going to go to Patrick Craven. DeMarco Starks finishing eighth, Tim Ruark in ninth, and Chris Root in 10th, and Aiden Davis unfortunately finishing 11:31. 123 laps down. Hard Charger went to Jeff Schmeier. Most laps led goes to Jackson Wade. Fastest lap and the pole position, as well as the Great Lakes Sim Pole Challenge Award, goes to Curtis Mitchell. We went a total of 180 laps, 10 different green flag lean changes with 4 different leaders, and a total of 4 cautions for 13 laps. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the show is not over as far as the schedule for the Charity Cup Series, as I will give the honors to Curtis to kind of explain some of the next races to come here in the Charity Cup Series.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got one more race for the chase next week at Homestead. That'll be our closing kind of championship run. I think Great Lakes sealed it. I know they had less guys today, so I'll have to check points. But I'm pretty sure they're on top for points. We'll see what that looks like. So we'll run that next week. We got a fun new dirt series we're going to be doing on Thursday nights that Alan and his guys are going to help us broadcast on their channel. And we're going to be running 7 different weeks of dirt cars, 7 different cars, 7 different tracks every other Thursday night. So that'll be pretty fun. And then we do have the Charity Cup Classics as well. Got kind of our crown jewel events for the Charity Cup Series. So September, we're going to be running the ARCAs at Bristol for a 200 or 300 lap, just chaotic mess, but it's going to be fun. October, we're running the trucks at Texas. November, we're going to run the O'Reillys over at Darlington. And then we're going to close out with December with a close to full length Gen 6 Cup race at Charlotte. So fun stuff ahead. Still planning out the new year. But as always, huge shout out to all of our sponsors. I want to thank first and foremost our foundational sponsor, Johnson and Sons Racing, or Johnson and Sons Paving. They have a racing team too, but Johnson and Sons Paving, Hydro Hot, like I said, Lisbon Creek, LMM Marketing, Frank Ranger for the trophies, all of our sponsors. I might be missing them. I got to get a better list put together, but all the guys that have donated and supported it, huge thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, up on the screen right now is the schedule for the 2026 Charity Cup Classic. But don't miss next Sunday's show, as they'll be at Homestead. Like Curtis was saying, they'll be at Bristol September 13th, and then in October they'll be at Texas, November, Darlington, and then the Christmas Clash will be at Charlotte. So, yeah, thank you for everybody watching the stream tonight. And yeah, Jordan, sorry you kind of been the odd man out, but yeah, what are your thoughts as how this race went?
I mean, for 11 trucks that took I think 9 took the green flag, 11 total raced. For that small of a car count this week, I mean, still a phenomenal race, especially up at the front, flip-flopping and running around, a lot of different strategies. So for a small field, that's probably the best race that I've ever seen with that size. So a lot of fun, and looking forward to the last week of the chase, coming up in 2 weeks at Miami. And then I'm really excited for the Charity Cup Classics, as I'll be getting in the seat on October 11th. So looking forward to that. Got myself my Suicide Hotline Foundation car that I'm going to be truck I'm going to be running, and looking forward to that. So it's going to be a fun and emotional time for myself, as October 11th is a very important date to me. And be sure to talk about that on the race day as well.
You better win that race. You better win that race.
I can tell you now, with being out of the seat for as long as I have, I am not going to win it. But as long as I can get a respectable, long as I can have a respectable showing, that'll mean a lot to me. So,
and I do have one more quick shout before we close out. My buddy Justin Critter is his nickname. He was generous enough to send over another $25 donation. He wasn't able to run tonight, but just on behalf of CRE Elite Racing, we're going to be putting another $25 in the prize pool to send over to the charity. So huge shout to him. He's running a couple of these with us. Couldn't make it this week, but appreciate his generosity as well. Wanted to get that in there before we close out the show tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to tune in next Sunday. Believe the date is going to be the 30th. Yep. Days are all screwed up for me. So, but yeah, we'll be back next Sunday, August 30th. We'll be live 7:45 Eastern Standard Time as Charity Cup Series takes on Homestead. So, with that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. God bless, and we will see you in 7 days.